Hello and welcome to the Outdoor Cooking Man channel where we cook stuff outdoors. What we're cooking today is actually cashew chicken. And before I continue, I should let you know that I'm not a professional cook. So what you might see is, how I do it. Now, this is a great meal because the kids love it. And it's a evening weeknight meal that I cooked for my twin 7-year-olds and my 4-year-old for them to eat. And they love it. My kids love Chinese food in general, and so they liked our take on it. Now, I will have a link in the description to the recipes for this recipe, and any other meal that I cook on this channel. Now, the full-length video is probably about 45 minutes or so, and so this is actually time-lapsed down to about 9 minutes and 30 seconds. But here, you just see me cutting up these chicken thighs. I like to use gloves because I don't like to have my hands dirty. It's a weird thing that I've got, but I don't like to have my hands dirty. My wife makes fun of me all the time. But here you're just going to see me cut up about 2.5, maybe 3 pounds of chicken. And then the next step will be me just mixing in all of the different sauces that are required. Now, again, if you want a complete list of the sauces that are required, the first link in the description will have, in addition to the recipes that I use to cook these different meals, it also has the best griddle cooking tips, because I'll be obviously cooking on a Blackstone griddle. Be sure to like, follow, comment, share, do all of that good stuff if this type of content is of interest to you. But I'm going to let the music play a little bit, and I'll come back to you once we get to the next part, which is just adding in the different sauces. All right, here you go. You can see I finally got everything cut up, and now we're just going to mix in the different sauces. We've got corn starch, we've got soy sauce, we've got hot sesame sauce, we've got regular sesame sauce, we've got rice vinegar, which was actually a substitute for rice wine. We don't have rice wine where I'm from, apparently. And what I actually do is I'll actually double my portions, because half of it is supposed to get mixed in, and then the other half is supposed to be saved for later. So I'll actually double my portions here to make sure that I have an ample amount of sauce. I like a lot of sauce, but you can see here we've got soy sauce, we've got rice vinegar. I think that is the hot sesame, and then we've got the cold sesame, but the entire thing that you'll need to be down there. And then what I do, and one thing that I should do, is I should put in one tip for you is to put in the cornstarch last, because I think the cornstarch it wound up being stuck to the bottom of this bowl, and then it became just kind of a little bit more difficult to get things up and running. But you can see here we put the mixture into a plastic Ziploc bag. I wish I had my gloves on there, but I don't. And then we will seal this, and then what I like to do is I actually like to put it in the refrigerator for about a half an hour. Or more, because the longer it's in, the better it gets. And then you can see here, I actually do this whole process over again, because you're going to put this sauce right on the griddle. Now, one tip is if you've got little kids, you might not want to put in the hot sesame, because it does add a little bit of a spice, a little bit of a kick. And so just be aware of that when you are mixing this up. So you can see I put in a lot there of cornstarch. For whatever reason. to get everything up and running, and then just set it aside. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator. I just covered it with, I believe it was like saran wrap or, foil. And then we can move on to the next thing, which is to cook. And I'll come back to you once we actually start cooking. All right, so here we're actually warming the griddle up. Now, what I like to do is I like to start and finish my cook the exact same way. I like to put down a little bit of olive oil to cover the griddle, and then you can see just like that, we've got the mixture down, and we will be flipping it and making sure that it cooks even. This will cook for a little while, and it will make your life it might make your life a lot easier. You can see I've got some supervisors coming in the background to help me out. But what I like to do is I like to just keep flipping. And I'm always a little concerned when cooking chicken, just because, you don't want to undercook it and make anybody sick. But you can see here, I've got it right in the middle of the griddle, and I just keep flipping it. And it smells amazing, and it tastes really good too. What you'll see me do toward the end of this video is add in the cashews and make cashew chicken. Now, what I like to do is I like to make my life as easy as possible, because again, this is a weeknight meal. I will actually go out and buy frozen vegetables, and I left them frozen. So eventually you'll see a frozen stir fry mix that will be placed on the grill. And what I do is I like to just keep flipping it. Now, the griddle itself is on medium-high heat, so not too hot. And I believe the temperature outside wasn't too bad. I was wearing shorts, as you can see, but not too bad. But I like to just keep flipping it, stay on top of the chicken there, just to make sure that it's cooking even. Now, one thing with my griddle, and I'll do a review on this later, is that it actually, towards the back, it gets a lot hotter than the front. And as you can see here, I'm about to throw down some of the vegetables. I used a lot of vegetables, and I always try and make sure that I put some oil down to make sure that it cooks. Put a good amount of vegetables down, and then of course I'll throw some olive oil over the top to make sure that it cooks even. I think at this point the chicken is pretty well on its way to being done cooking, but I just like to, I'm always afraid, maybe that's the cooking, the amateur in me, but I'm always afraid to overcook or undercook my chicken. And then you can see I actually put down that sauce right on the vegetables and let that cook. Now, my kids aren't huge fans of cashews or vegetables for that matter. They're huge fans of cashews, but not necessarily vegetables. And so I had to put the cashews over the vegetables, and then we kind of mix it in if they're interested in it. But you can see this is a real easy cook. The cool thing with the griddle is that the griddle does really all of the work. You don't have to stay on top of it. You can just kind of cook it and set it and forget it. As you can see here, I do a little bit of taste testing, make sure everything's cooked evenly, because the worst thing that I would want is to be undercooked in anything, really. As you can see here, we did a little bit of a mixture, and what I'll wind up having to do is I'll actually have to pick out the vegetables for the kids, which is, kind of a pain, but it is what it is. This turned out really good. It came out a little spicy, so either pull back on the hot sesame oil, or if you don't like spices at all, don't do the sesame.